About 10 days before the athletes were to show back up for the fall, it literally looked like a bomb had gone off in the calf. There was some meals I've had over there where I thought maybe a bomb going off in the calf wasn't a bad idea. But I'm telling you, they completely stripped out everything. Probably even close, maybe 5 or 6 days before the arrival of students. It literally looked like a war zone in there. But I do like the way it's turned out. I think it's much friendlier now. The outside, I left the inside to them, but the outside was kind of my idea because, you know, we all live in a high-tech, busy world, and just like you, when I don't have something pressing, I'm texting and keeping up with my friends as well. And I was terrified that one of us was going to get run over crossing that street coming out of the calf, because we had, for some reason, back when they built the calf, they decided to build those huge monstrosities, those walls and all, which never made any sense to me. But I guess back when they did that, that street wasn't very busy. And now, of course, it's gotten very busy, and there's a lot more of us than there used to be. It's kind of incredible what's happened to our school in terms of numbers. Some of the biggest news for a lot of you will be the fact that Cuddy Arena is finally air conditioned. I'm telling you. I'm not sure what hell's going to be like, but I'll tell you what, there were some nights when it got pretty close in there, I think. And if you probably don't pay any attention to me, but lots of times I invite guests to basketball games, and we got some seating up there for our president's guests, and they're usually trustees or people who are donating to the school or people who are going to donate to the school who just don't know it yet. And we have them, they enjoy a game, and oh my gosh, it gets so hot. You know, heat rises, and it gets so hot in there. And I'm thrilled that the Cuddy Arena is now air conditioned, and very grateful for that. I know we've added another lab in Bridges. We don't seem to be able to have enough labs. We're trying to keep up. You'll be pleased to know that there are plans for another chemistry lab, which should be coming online by the end of this semester. Some of the plans for the next few months, they tell me that by September the 18th, which is a couple of weeks from now, I guess, that you will actually be able to get an Einstein bagel in our library. I'll believe that when I see it too. But they've been working over there all summer. You know, but I grew up in an era where you went to the library, and if you tried to get a phone number of the girl sitting next to you, you got to shh. And now it's so fun to walk in the library and see everybody laughing and talking and having a big time and even having something to eat. But supposedly the Einstein Bagel Shop will be serving food beginning on September the 18th, and we'll see. Some of you have probably heard about another dining choice we're going to have soon. It's called Lakeside Dining. I don't know if it's going to have any other name than that or not, but right now it's going to be Lakeside Dining. And it's going to be where Ames Turnout is. We've come a long ways with that little facility. When I came here as president in 1812, that's where they took me to introduce me to the faculty and staff, and they had to unlock it to let us in. And as soon as the reception was over, they locked the door back up and we got ready to leave, and I said, "Is this the student center?" And they said, "Yes." And I said, "Well, why are you locking the only nice room in the building?" They said, "Well, we keep this for special occasions." And I said, "Well, if it's going to be the student center, take the locks off the door." And we did. We opened it up a little bit, but we've used it a little better. Of course, we've had our Super Bowl party in there and lots of other things along the way. But it's going to be tablecloths and napkins, and it's going to be a little more upscale dining than we've had on campus before. When I've asked what it's going to be like when it's completed, the best answer I get is it's going to be similar to a TGIF. Now, that's not the most fancy dining in the world, but it's fancier than anything we've got. But supposedly they will be serving food in there beginning when we return from Christmas break. So there you go. I know a lot of you have come back in the last few days and you've wondered, what's going on with the grading we're doing down across from Helms, sort of where the softball and soccer stadium is. That's being done purely for safety. If you play soccer or if you go over there and enjoy recreation, or if you go over and play softball, you know, it gets really busy and there are lots of cars coming and going, lots of little children running around going to events. And we're actually going to take, where the current entrance is, that driveway is going to be taken away. And you're going to enter the parking lot from the other way just to cut the traffic down, and we're going to make that grassy area in a place where people can walk back and forth and enjoy the games. But you'll just be entering the same parking areas from a different direction. And it's purely for safety. We just were worried that somebody was going to, some child especially was going to get hurt there running around when some of us were speeding to a softball game or speeding to a soccer match. I hope some of you, or I assume some of you, are living in Helms. I hope that's working out nicely for you. They worked really hard over there this summer, and I think the interior looks really, really nice now. I like the way they put the fireplace and the swimming pool and all those things in there, and hope you enjoy that. They replaced everything in all those rooms. The most important thing was, of course, new air conditionings, because the other ones were terrible. They were old and they drained poorly, and I think you'll really enjoy living there now. It's I've been in practically every room over there. The laundry facility, of course, is very nice, and I think you're going to find that's going to be a really nice place to live from now on. We're trying to create a lot more recreational space, and I'm going to be brutally honest with you, because you've been around here a while, and you know that as we've grown, since there's more of you, and we don't have enough recreational space. Some people play sports, and that's a wonderful, varsity sports, that's a wonderful thing. But if you don't play a varsity sport but still love athletics or running or whatever, it's kind of hard to find a place to enjoy that. And so we're going to build another recreational field, probably with a place to play football and softball, between the softball stadium and the little field house that's there. We're going to turn that into a recreational space. We're going to try to open up Cuddy a little more to the general student body. We think that maybe some of our championship intramural basketball games and things like that could be played in Cuddy. But we're just trying to utilize our facilities a little bit better and try to be a little bit more efficient. Quite frankly, what happens here is the buildings all look fine. And then you build a new building next door to an old building, and then the old building looks twice as bad. A good case in point is Smith Dormitory. I didn't think Sanders Sykes looked so bad from outside until we built the new dorm, and now that building looks terrible. And we've looked at what we could do for that building, how we could, we got to, if we're going to keep it at all, we got to fix the roof on it, obviously. But that, if you really were thinking about the long-term future of the school, I honestly think that maybe what you need to do is start there where Cuddy ends and just clear everything out of there all the way back to Haskins Drive and clear out everything from Camden to the tennis courts. That's a huge space. And you could build something really, really nice there, which could be a huge student wellness and recreation center. We could put a lot of our coaches' offices. Our coaches, some of them are in terrible spaces, and we could put them in some much nicer facilities. And so we're kind of debating internally, should we just repair what we've got and add a new building on the end, or should we just take it all down, inconvenience you for a semester, but at the end, it would really be a great facility for everybody. So we're trying to debate that, and we're looking at costs and time involved and that sort of thing. You've got limited recreational space. The last thing we want to do is take away what you got, but we really want to provide more and better. So it's really a debate for us, but we're trying to figure out the right thing to do there. We're also looking at a new classroom building. And you know, I really regret the fact that in higher ed, even back before I became president, somebody made a decision that this building will be a building for the liberal arts, and this building will be for the School of Business, and this building will be for something else. And you know what? You can teach science, and you can teach math, and you can teach foreign language in the same classroom. But somehow we've kind of determined that this is the School of Business, so you can't teach math here. Well, and that's what we're kind of looking at right now. We need more classroom space. And we're about to do a new campus master plan, which will help us project our needs for the next 10 years. And we're going to then follow that master plan as we build buildings and repair buildings. And we know we need a classroom building. But I just want it to be a classroom building. But you know, a lot of people say, well, it needs to be for nursing. Well, maybe so. But it needs to be for this. But I really would like for us to feel like we can teach most anything in most any buildings. I know you got to have labs and that sort of thing. But we need a general purpose classroom building, which we will be working on. We're already raising money for, and as soon as we get the funds, we'll start. It'll probably be, it won't be as large as the College of Health Sciences, but it'll be a really large building, I'm sure. And that way it'll take care of our needs for a long, long time in the future. Most of you know that we are starting a physical therapy program, a doctor of physical therapy program. If anybody was wondering what kind of need was out there for physical therapists, the program doesn't start until January, and it's already full. We can only take 42 students, and we've already enrolled 42, deposits paid, and got a small waiting list. So it's really going to be a very popular program. Burnside Dalton building has already been converted for physical therapy, and over time, that entire building will be physical therapy. It's an exciting proposition for us, and we're very pleased with the response so far. There are some things about Wingate of today that even you might find surprising. I guess we got in here today some sophomores, some juniors, and some seniors. One of the more remarkable things that's happened is how popular Wingate has become in every single program we have. Since day one, when we started pharmacy, we started taking 60 pharmacy students, and we were having 1,100 applications. And now we're taking 108 pharmacy students a year, and we're still having well over 1,000 applicants every year, even though there are several new pharmacy schools around. Our PA program has at least 8 to 10 applicants for every opening. But the undergraduate program has never been quite like that. But this year, we enrolled 723 freshmen and transfers, 10,000 applications. So some really great things are happening in terms of the reputation, I think, of our institution. And we've seen that happen at other schools. You know, Duke and Wake Forest and Carolina, they've always had those kind of people waiting in line to get in school. And we've always had more than enough apps, but 10,000, you know, that was just mind-blowing for all of us. We, for many years, our young admissions officers spent their entire falls on the road, visiting high schools and trying to generate applications and trying to convince high school guidance counselors to recommend our school and that sort of thing. We pretty much quit that because we're trying to deal with all the applications that are just coming anyway. And there's a lot of things you can point to about why is that happening, and it's not any one or two things. I think it's a whole culture of trying to do things the right way. You know, we spent $100 million on new buildings since the year 2000. You know, we've done so well with our students getting in graduate school and those kinds of things. A lot of the graduate and professional programs we have now, people come to the undergraduate program hoping to get into those programs. Athletically, of course, we're doing great. We've got the finest music program anywhere. So we're doing a lot of things well, and of course our faculty is second to none. But this is a time when I think Wingate has finally become what we call a hot school. A lot of people want to come to school here. And that's a good thing for us, and it's a good thing for you, because as the reputation of the school grows, so will the value of your degree. And that's part of my job, is to make sure that 5 years from now, 10 years from now, 20 years from now, the degree that you earned from Wingate, the value has gone up tremendously on that degree. And we really see that happening. Our numbers are going to be just right at 3,000 students this year. And of course, probably 1,000 of those you'll never see, because they go to school either in Charlotte or Hendersonville. But it's by far the largest student body in the history of the school, by far the largest freshman class in the history of the school. And we have been working for years to try to find what is the right number of freshmen to bring in here. And at one time we thought it was 600. And then we thought, man, well, maybe it's probably 650. Well, now we think it might be 700. So we're trying to decide going forward what our goal is going to be every year, and just stick to that and budget for it, and not go above it very far or below it very far. But it's kind of an exciting time to be a part of Wingate and see it growing like it is. And I've had occasion for the last 5 years. I've been the chairman of the North Carolina Independent College presidents, and that includes everybody from Lees-McRae and Duke to North Carolina Wesleyan to Brevard. So it's every private school in the state. And I'm telling you, there's a lot of those schools that are just barely hanging on. They're just barely staying alive. And what they get, regrettably, in terms of student body, is they get students who can't get anywhere else. So therefore, they don't stay very long, and they don't do very well. So it's just they're having a very, very difficult time. But when you visit their campus, you can see why. You know, I was presiding at a meeting a few months ago at Pinehurst, and so I got there early, and this lady who was a friend of mine, is president of one of the schools in North Carolina, came up and said, how are things at Wingate? And I said, oh, they're great. How are things where you are? Oh, we're so excited, we're building a new building. And I said, gosh, that's great. Nothing creates excitement on a college campus like a new building. I said, I'm really happy for you. She said, well, it's really a big deal at our school. It's the first one we built in 30 years. And I thought, and she wonders why she doesn't have any students. Well, you know, you've got to kind of be out front. You gotta, the old saying is, if you're not the lead horse, the view never changes. And we try to be out front. We try to get, we started our health science programs in front of that wave, not behind the wave. And now there are other schools talking about doing a pharmacy school and doing a PA program. Well, they've missed the wave. They need to look for something else. And we've tried to stay in front and making decisions like that. And in 2008, 2009, when the economy was so bad and everybody thought the world was going to cave in, we started on a $100 million fundraising campaign. And there was people thought we were really crazy. And I said, well, they said, don't you know that there's a bad economy? And I said, yes, but we're choosing not to participate. We're not going to slow down for 3 or 4 or 5 years, because the students who are coming to Wingate now need Wingate now. They didn't choose to be 18 or 19 during the Great Depression. It just happened. And we're going to give them a great experience like we've given everybody else. And so we pushed right through those bad years. And now we're on the other side, and things are going great. And some of these schools that cut their budget by 12% or 15%, or one place 20%, they're trying to catch up. And they probably will never catch us now, because we just kept pushing forward. But you got to be in front, and you got to work really, really hard to increase the reputation of your school. The easy way is just like with you. You can just go to class every day and slide through and do fine, or you can go in and excel. You can go in and do very well, and you can live a great life like we promised you would have. But we all have choices, and we've chosen to do well here. We've chosen, we want to lead. We just don't want to have an athletic contest. We want to win the athletic contest. You know, we don't want our students to just apply to medical school. We want them to get in medical school. And we really are dedicated to excellence, and I think it's beginning that feeling's beginning to get out to the community, and people are starting to show up here in droves. The number one thing that this campus needs today, with the growing student body, the great facilities, the nice faculty, we need student leadership like we have never needed it before. And most of the people who need to be leading are sitting in this room. You've been here a while now. You've kind of learned your way around. You've kind of found your place. 723 new people here this year. They need you to show them the way. And I don't mean to show them the way to the bar. I mean to show them the way. And there's a right way and a wrong way to go to college, and you know that. And they don't know it. They were in high school just a few months ago. They need you to lead. They need you to show them the way. They need you to show them how to act socially responsible. And you really need to step forward if you're ever going to do it. Many of you asked me to fill out recommendations for you and that sort of thing. And I'm always happy to do it. But one of the absolute first things they want to know is, do you have any leadership qualities? Well, it's obviously important to them. So you need to make sure that there are some things on your Wingate resume that says to the world that you chose to lead while you were here. So I need you to lead, the school needs you to lead, the new students need you to lead, and I'm expecting you to lead.